I found that if I took on a client that really didn't want to work with me and I was pandering to the experience all the time, it caused me so much problems. Like, for instance, there was a guy that he came into quite a bit of money. So he came into £1 million. So my accountant friend asked me if I could go and help him invest in property. So at the time, we went and bought 10 houses for him, and I did the renovations and everything, organised the renovations and everything. So he gave me such a hard time, and he was my prices were low. I undercharged, and he said something like, "I own you. You don't own me. You work for me." And I said to him, he kept doing this, and my friend said to me, "Look, he's like this with everyone." And I think it was a couple of years I was working with this guy. He was earning about 90,000 a year from this. Didn't have to do anything. I took care of everything. I was earning some sort of a small percentage from it. And he gave me so much problems. And I just thought, I am never doing this again. Never, ever working with anyone I don't want to work with. He called me all sorts of names. I mean, the final straw was when he called me some black something. I just got like, oh my God. I just went back to when my stepdad, who was a light skinned person, used to call me a black shit, and the guy called me a black shit, and I just thought, oh, this is,
Yeah. Yeah.
you will never see me again. And I said to him, look, go and find another estate agent or letting agent to manage your property. I'm giving you 1 day to do this. And he said, oh, do you know what, Natasha is joking. I said, no, I'm not joking. And I just stopped doing everything. I will not work with anybody that is disrespecting me in that way. No way.
How long was this going on before did you say a year?
2 years. My friend would ask me, "Oh, Natasha, don't worry about it. He's like this with everyone." I
What
mean,
color
I'm
is your
not on
friend?
this earth to experience abuse from other people at work. You must be joking, you know?
What color was your friend who told you he's just joking?
Oh, a white guy, white guy.
Okay. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's always like, we've got to accept this. Would you
Right.
accept this?
Right.
Would, yeah. So I said to him, you passed him on to me because you didn't want him as a customer yourself, you know? So I just thought it was out of order, expecting
Hmm.
me. When he was shouting at me one day, my friend took the phone and started talking to, oh, calm down, calm down. No, she's this, that she's that. How dare she talk back to me? And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. Listen, my mum's not even talking to me like this. I don't
Right.
even
Right.
understand why a customer. No. And when I released him, I gave him a day, told him to find somewhere else to look after his properties. And he wrote this long letter because he was a journalist and all sorts. Said to me that he cannot believe that I'm going to release him with his 10 properties and I won't get any more business and all this.
Hmm.
And I tell you, a week later, someone came in with about 25 properties and said, Natasha, would you like to manage that? So sometimes you just have to release these ridiculous people out of your life in order for you to get something.
That's a lesson. It is so true. If I and I talk about this because I talk about those crazy people that I worked with for 11 years that sucked up my time and drained me dry. I wouldn't be talking to you right now. This podcast wouldn't be happening. There was just no time, you know?
Yeah,
And then to realize you can make just as much money, if not more money, for less hassle.
indeed.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah. So, I mean, Tell us though, how do you get there? You know, because I mean, I know you're talking about your stepfather called you black shit, which is, I just can't believe that.
Mm.
And then, you know, obviously you've had your life experiences and things like that.
Mm.
How do you get to the point where you have so much confidence and to like walk away or to say, you know what, no more? Because you were in it with this one guy, and I'm sure other situations for a period of time before you were like finally like, you know what, fuck off, fuck you, you know, and be
Yeah.
gone, which is basically
Yeah.
what you said. I mean, that's for so many of the women who are listening, that is like our dream, you know, to be like,
Yeah.
you know, to tell their boss or their employer to fuck all the way off and just
Yeah.
exit the situation.
Yeah.
But it's not always an option. But how do you get yourself to the point or build yourself up to that period where you can just do that?
Well, do you know, I was thinking about this a few weeks ago. Why am I always able to do that? And I realized I've been able to do it since I was about 10. I've never ever wanted to be part of a group that didn't want me there. And I remember had my best friend in primary school always wanted to get into this group, and she used to say, you know, she was a fantastic singer, but they didn't want her in the group. There was a group of
Oh,
5
like an
girls.
actually singing group. I
Yeah.
thought you meant like a clicky group. Okay,
Well,
got
it
it.
was a kind of a clicky group and a singing group, but she's the best singer. These people thought they could sing, they couldn't sing. And I'm thinking to myself, you sound so ridiculous when you're singing. I said to her, why don't you start singing on your own? Oh, no, I want to be part of this group. And I said to her, why can't you just be? You know, just sit down and wait for things to come to you or do it yourself. So that was me at 10. But the thing is that I was bullied at home, I was bullied at school, so I never fitted into any type of group. But I think one thing that shaped my life experience was when I started working for a solicitor's firm when I was about 16 years old. And there were some brilliant people there. They were from Malaysia. And they would give me books to read, and they would say to me that, look, Natasha, you never have to start from the bottom. We're the ones, you know, that are making this happen. These people came out of university, didn't have any experience. They just employed another solicitor and set up their firm. They didn't even know what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was the one that got them customers. I was the one that helped them build that business. And I did that for a couple of years. But the thing is, I saw how they worked, and they never, ever got into a situation where they were always pandering to people. They were Indians, but they were like, they felt that they were so much more powerful. And if the white person came to them and said, oh, we want you to do this, they never did, you see. But the thing is that one of the things that my mom has always taught us, if you're spending a pound, save a pound. So we always live within your means. So I've always had to save money. Even when things have been tight, I've had to save money just so that I'm in that financial position to say, do you know what, just get lost, just
Yeah.
go away. I don't want to work with you. And being patient. You know, I've seen so many black people in business just fail because they're pandering to the white person, and these people have no respect for us when we're selling ourselves out to them. You know, when we're all begging for scraps and what have you. So the thing is that when you're there, even feeling it, it might be tight, because I've been here. I've had times when I didn't even have enough money to buy anything. I remember my sister came to stay with me, and we had rice and tomato ketchup in the cupboard. I just made rice and tomato ketchup, and my sister's like, "This is great, you know." And I said, "It's because you're hungry. That's why it's so great." You know, the thing is that do not ever sell out to anyone, to yourself, it burns you out. It wears you out because
does.
you've got to stand in your power. You cannot lose yourself to these people. You just cannot.